I'm in Salad and I saw Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 2, Episode 19, The Zillo Beast Strikes Back. It is directed by Stuart Lee, written by Stephen Melching. If you haven't seen this episode, I'll spoil it for you. It is 5:30 p.m., 89 degrees, 45% humidity. On with the review. This episode is a continuation from the last episode when they got hold of this Zillo Beast. They got the Zillo Beast on Coruscant. We got Mace Windu who's like, I don't know if we should be doing any experiments on this Zillo Beast. We got Palpatine is like, yes, we gotta do some experiments on this Zillo Beast because it would be good for a military. Even though last episode he was like, yes, we gotta kill it in order to get rid of it. But now he's like, you know what? I think we should do some experiments on it. There's this whole disagreement with what to do with this Zillo Beast, and new information comes into play. They can't do anything regarding to its scales unless it's dead, because it's an extremely painful process for the Zillo Beast to go through, having its scales removed. Palpatine is like, kill it. All these people be like, it could be sentient. And Palpatine is like, just do it. Oh man, the Zillo Beast does not like that whatsoever. He's like, Palpatine wants me dead. I'm gonna go get him. And they try to poison the Zillo Beast, but the Zillo Beast does a bit of a rampage, breaks free of all his shackles, starts terrorizing Coruscant. Everybody is having a scare because there's a monster in Coruscant. Palpatine's ultimate goal was to have the Zillo Beast just executed. Padme, though, she's like, well, it's not fair. It could be sentient, you don't know that. It doesn't have any voice, but it's a life. It needs some sort of representation. And so she's willing to represent it. And she's like, Anakin, can you represent it, please? And then they have this whole debate, right? And Padme's like, yeah, it shouldn't be killed. And the other person's like, it should be killed. And Anakin is in the middle being like, yeah, you guys make good points. But ultimately he sides with Palpatine, which is great foreshadowing. It also goes to the state of the relationship, Padme and Anakin's relationship. Anakin is prioritizing Palpatine over Padme, which is also some great foreshadowing, because this takes place between movie 2 and movie 3. In movie 3, he kills Padme and goes with Palpatine. And so we got little glimpses of what's happening, what's going on in Anakin's journey that makes him choose Palpatine over his wife Padme. And he's like, yeah, we gotta do some military benefit stuff. We gotta benefit the military. I just want this war to end, so maybe we have these scales and it'll protect our military. And Padme, she's a bit of a woman though. She's like, but he could have some sentient life. You don't know that. He could have feelings. I get why Anakin sided with Palpatine, but Padme felt betrayed. And I kind of like seeing just the beginnings of a tumultuous relationship. I'm sure this episode is the groundwork for some intense arguments later on within the next few seasons. Ultimately, it ends up dying. Well, we got the army, the Coruscant army, it's throwing a bunch of poison gas at it, containing it. It's wafting everywhere, the gases. And so we have Anakin is like protecting himself with using the Force and whatever. But that means that everybody else exposed to that gas is just dying. Coruscant seems like a hellish place because you got 1 trillion people there. That means no one cares about you. And stuff like this can happen very easily and no one's gonna blink an eye. It's like, oh, well, I guess some people are dead, but there's 1 trillion people here. Who cares? It's kind of like New York City, but amplified to like the nth degree. How many trillion is from the number that New York City has now? I imagine Coruscant to be very much like New York City in the vibe, which is no one cares about each other. Everyone's just doing their own thing, but it's much harsher, much more harsh than New York City is now. So who cares about all these people just dying, because we gotta contain the Zillo Beast, we gotta put the poison on the Zillo Beast, and that's the only way we can kill it, if we have a specific poison. And uh-oh, looks like people are dying. Oh, who cares? But at least the Zillo Beast is dead. And now they have the scales that they wanted. Imagine if they didn't get access to the scales. And all of this effort, and the Zillo Beast ends up dying anyway. And it's like the last of its species too. Who knows if it's the only one? Maybe there's a couple more, but no one knows. Zillo Beasts have been thought to have been extinct on Malastare for several hundred years. And the idea that the Zillo Beasts are here, that's crazy. How did one live for so long? But also, it's a big Zillo Beast, so who knows if it's like the last of its kind, for real, for real. It definitely could be. And the fact that Palpatine is just like, I wanted it killed silently, well, I guess I'll just piss it off if I don't get my way. I'll piss it off, make sure to inject some of that Malastare fuel into it, really amp it up and have it rampage so the military is forced to kill it. I feel like Palpatine, he's that big brained. He was like, well, I'm just going to make sure that it targets me. Even with the Zillo Beast just targeting Palpatine and going right after him, everybody trying to protect Palpatine, it's crazy to be cool-headed, cool as a cucumber in that situation, but Palpatine manages to do it. He's a scary fellow. And I like how Palpatine's like, oh, you taught your Padawan well, Obi-Wan, to side with me. I'm like, oh no, this is not good. So, I like this episode a lot because there's a lot of good character development, a lot of good character moments that are the foundation of what will happen in Revenge of the Sith, and I like that a lot. I like the slow progression of the character development of all the characters and how they get from movie 2 to movie 3, and I like that a lot. So I'm gonna give this episode, it's like a 7.5 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another on the platform. Really likes it if I haven't reviewed it on the channel. There's a chance I haven't seen it at all. That's why you gotta get the Patreon request and at patreon.com/ASEPresents. $20 dinos for one movie review per 1 month. Support the daily grindiness by going to autisticmovies.com. So I can go here. And until next time, I'm Mint Salad. I'll see you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits. Goodbye.